I bet you, if there is any term we have been frequently bombarded with in our math lecture, then this will be an undisputed winner. We must have solved hundreds of problems on it, but have we asked this question to us while doing problems on it, that what makes something an equation and why we study them so frequently? See, we don't study anything just for solving the problems or for the sake of studying. There should be an application in real world, right? So today in this video, we are going to answer some of this critical question. So let's get started. But before getting into equation, we have to understand two more important terms related to it. So the first one is variable. So what is variable? Variable is any quantity which changes with time. So to give example of it would be the temperature of this room, right? It will never remain same all the time. It will keep on changing depending on the external environment of this room. Same goes for the humidity of the air, right? It keeps on changing depending on the geological condition. So all these parameters, they never remain same all the time. They varies with time. So we can call them as variable. Now the second one is something which is opposite to variable, which does not changes with time. And we call them as constant. For example, the mass of this object. See, if its mass is 5 gram, it will remain 5 gram throughout. It will not go to 3 gram or 4 gram or 7 gram. So unless and until I add something into it or I destroy it. So all these quantities which does not changes with time, we can call them as constant. Now, if there is something which has got variable or variables and constant or constants separated by some mathematical symbols like plus, minus, division or multiplication, and obviously an equal to sign to differentiate left hand side from right hand side, then that something becomes an equation. Simple, right? To understand it in a better way, let's take a very famous example from a very famous person. What is this? It is an equation, right? See, it has got one constant and two variables. C square, what is C square? It is speed of light, which is constant for everyone, no matter who you are. It remains same for all and has got two variables, that is mass and energy. So therefore, constant, two variables separated by some mathematical symbols, so it becomes an equation. Now let's come to our second most important question. Why we need equation? Why we study them? The only reason we study them is because they communicate with us. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they are trying to tell us a story. But the only question is, are we smart enough to understand their language? For example, this equation right here is also telling us a story of many things around us. What this equation is actually trying to tell us is that since c square is constant here with just any number, if you have a mass, then you can convert that mass into energy. And if you have energy, then you can convert that energy into mass. That means mass and energy are interchangeable. They can go from one form into another. That's what this equation is trying to say. And the best thing, the best object which depicts this story is the story of our own star, the sun. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our sun is a big nuclear reactor. It constantly burns its fuel, in this case hydrogen, and converts that fuel into energy. And that energy, or I should say the fraction of that energy, we receive on earth in the form of light. And we know how important it is to sustain all the biological life on the earth. That means one day it will burn all its fuel and all the biological life on the earth will come to an end. But don't worry, the good news is to happen this, it will take almost 4.5 billion years from now. So we have a lot of time to survive. Obviously, if we first survive the climate change or we don't blow ourselves up with the nuclear weapons. But anyway, that is another topic of discussion. The point I'm trying to emphasize here is the reason we study equation is because they communicate with us. They are trying to tell us a story. Listen to them. Thank you.